Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see you. This is going to help you navigate the week ahead. And I like to get everybody started here with channeled messages. And basically, this comes through with me meditating right before I begin, also bringing some threads of what came through in dreams, because I set the intention to receive before this reading. So let's chat. It was really interesting. What was coming through, even as I was getting everything set up here, was this feeling of kind of being on not a conveyor belt, but it's kind of like when you're at an airport and you just step onto that moving, it's not an escalator, an elevator, it's just that moving strip, where it's almost like you're in autopilot mode. And one of the opportunities in this moment in time is to make sure that you're choosing the direction in which you would like to go. Rather than just sort of staying in that autopilot or that predetermined path. And the other thing that I was picking up on, perhaps it's for some of the grads because you're thinking of graduating soon, but I had that feeling of being in class without a schedule, without an agenda, trying to figure out kind of like what the next step was going to be. So it's interesting because I did have an option today, and maybe I'll do just one card pull at the end, but looking at the lesson, because that's kind of what came through from guides, was what's the sort of karmic lesson at hand right now. I feel like slowing down for a moment and evaluating how and why you are where you are could be really valuable. And as we look at the cards, what I'll try to do today is see if there's anything cyclical that kind of reads as a karmic lesson and try to help you release that. You chose Dragon as the special topic, finding your power, which of course is going to connect us with like passion, career, inner strength, inner development. But what I can kind of graft on top of that is, are there any blocks that might be holding you back from accessing your power? That way we're marrying them together. For whatever reason, it's never popular to have the topics where you do the work. So occasionally, maybe every quarter, maybe next month with the next reading, I'll have us look at what we need to look at because my guides are showing that. I put those on there for a reason, but they don't always come through. Either that or I'll do a members-specific video so that the members can access it. But because I'm a medium and because we're going to be looking at the cards, whatever needs to come through will come through. So let's get started into the 7-day forecast. I think Apollo's behind me. He needs a little snack, so I'll give you a picture of him real quick, and then I'm going to grab him a little snack so that he's happy, and maybe you can watch him eat the snack. All right, buddy, let's give you a little snack. He gets a little nervous and feels like, wait, why haven't you watched me? So there we go. Some snack time for Apollo. All right. Let's take a look now at the next 7 days. As I'm shuffling the cards, imagine that you're tracing a circle around your body. It's of perfect golden light. And within that circle, you are safe, you are protected, you are connected. Interesting. There we go. All right, let's begin with the energy for this Sunday. We have Queen of Cups. She's in reverse, and she's reminding you that in order to receive any blessing, opportunity, or just to be open to what the world wants to give you, you have to let go of whatever it is that you're holding on to from the past. Queen of Cups in reverse is saying, I need to let go of old emotions, old drama, preconceived ideas, and just be open to kind of like receive, okay? And when we look at it in the upright position, I don't know what kind of fish it is here, but this fish has way too much on its plate. So many of you may be just taking on a little bit more, or even if you are taking on more, you're maybe thinking too much about how it's all going to come together. Just follow your instincts per the daily card pull and kind of lean into the next step without worrying so much about every single variable. There may also be a need to pull back a little bit from social interactions today. For whatever reason, you're just needing some time to heal, some time to rest. For those of you that don't have to work and where it still is Sunday, because I know in some parts of the world we're already into Monday, but whatever you can do today when you hear this message to just take care of yourself, even if it is just for 15 minutes. But better yet, a couple hours would be great for self-care. Creativity and intuition are running high. Listen to them. That's very much in alignment with, I think, what do we have? Queen of Wands for the daily. So we're getting a lot of nurturing energy, a lot of the ability to create, but only when you nurture, only when you take care of yourself. Okay? Let's start off with the first day of the week, the work week. On Monday, we have Eight of Wands. Maybe it's a couple steps forward, one step back, as illustrated here because it was reversed. And what I'm actually getting from Spirit is, what's the rush? Or don't rush unless you really have to. Because when we rush to get to the finish line, oftentimes we make errors or we miss something along the way. And it's interesting that we have communication there. It's almost like the, it could be Three of Swords, Three of Wands, but there's a chance to avoid something if you just pause and look around. So there's a lot going on. It should be a very productive day on Monday, but there's no need to rush to the finish line. Work with others, delegate to others, and don't get dismayed if you have to take a step to the side or a step back. It's giving you perspective. Whatever you need to address now, you'll save so much time later by taking care of that, okay? And the other thing here is, it's that conveyor belt sort of image that came through. It sometimes is just a matter of taking the first step that pulls you into your momentum. So we can kind of graft on the channeled message to this as well. It feels like movement will start to happen, but some of you are just a little bit nervous about, how do I get back on track? And it's more just about focusing on feeling connected, okay? What I'm trying to do as we're looking at all these cards is help us avoid what we see here at the midweek. None of us really want the Tower energy. So by slowing down on Monday, you can avoid that. All right, on Tuesday, we have Knight of Swords here. And what I like is it's in the upright position. And it doesn't feel as fast as some of the knights that are flying through the air. So I feel like you're just starting to feel momentum pick up. Everything is a little bit easier. So Sunday is about emotional recalibration. Monday is just about getting things started, and then it's almost like autopilot here. So you'll get to that autopilot eventually, but you first have to just do a little bit of self-care. This is a great day to send an email or a correspondence. I talked, was it yesterday, about the importance of drafting something. You could draft it today, you could draft it tomorrow. This is the day to actually pick up the phone, send the text, send the email, or if it's an old-fashioned letter or package, send it out because the timing is right and people are ready to receive it. Word travels quickly. Make sure that when you say you're interested in something, you truly are, because you might be surprised at how quickly you could speak something into existence. Good day for exercise, for travel, and for communication. We're definitely going to hit the brakes a bit as we hit Wednesday here. We have the Tower card coming through. So towers are necessary. They're not fun, but they're necessary. Here's the thing. You see the lightning bolt right behind the tower? There's always a flash. There's always a warning. If you miss that visual flash, you're going to hear the rumble of thunder. So in everyday life, it could be the thunder is someone giving you a warning verbally. Hey, are you sure you want to do this? Or it could be the voice in your head saying, we really should try something else. The lightning can be you're observing something and it just doesn't read right. So whatever you're looking at, whatever you're hearing, whatever you're feeling or sensing, pay attention to that and you can avoid this. Now, if you're in the throes of the Tower, then what you want to do is embrace change. It's happening. That's basically, you could put it in parentheses under the Tower. The Tower, it's happening. And what you can do is then lean into change. That can be another caption beneath it, or ride the wave of change. because when you become that agent of change, things can actually start to go your way. Towers can be good. Towers, as I like to remind people, are not just the oh my gosh moments. They can also be like, oh my God. So like, again, birth announcement, new job, surprise tax return where you're getting a refund back or something. Like, it can be a happy surprise. But it can also be the things that take you by surprise in a not so happy way. So we want to be aware either way to get our footing and to embrace what's in front of us. And that's basically it. Now, as a general read for the day, prepare for the unexpected. You may find that in travel in particular, there are some delays. Projects may have to be restarted. There may be new people coming and exiting. So flexibility with ambiguity is going to be really important in this moment in time. If you meet someone new or start something, you might feel like you're head over heels. So don't get too caught up in the energy of emotions. That's the main takeaway here, is really allow yourself to just breathe and get to know the person, place, or situation before making a major decision. Things are much better here on Thursday. We have King of Pentacles, upright position, abundance, opportunity, the ability to be very productive, and to really wrap your head around anything with respect to your time, energy, or money. He does have a firm handle on that coin, and you don't always see that with the King card. So this is a day to kind of roll up your sleeves and be very hands-on. And I would say the other thing here is I'm looking at the little patch on his pants here. So you might actually be taking something and repairing, rebuilding, or renewing it. And so rather than tossing away an idea in its entirety or a project or some work that you've done, it feels like there's a way to rearrange it, leverage the experience, the time, and the energy that you put into it, and make something of it. And in several ways, he's taking the rubbish or the rubble from the tower and recycling it and saying, it's not a complete loss. That's the thing. That's the illusion with the tower. When you're on a roller coaster, you don't know literally which end is up because you're going all around. It's not until you have a moment to have your head stop spinning that you're like, okay, now I know where I'm at. Now I know what just happened. So don't make any major decisions Wednesday. Everything's going to be much clearer on Thursday. Just breathe through it, sleep on it, come back to it, try to pick up the pieces because there are several pieces that can be salvaged, okay? Then we have this community energy, cooperative energy of the Three of Pentacles. I love the way they chose to illustrate it. There are like 3 or 4 aspects that you can look at with Three of Pentacles. One is education, mastery, learning, teaching. The other one is recognition. And then the third is, there's more than that, but these are the 3 that come to mind. And then the third is teamwork. They're all part of Three of Pentacles. This card focuses on teamwork, making the dream work. So whatever you decide to do next, you don't have to do it alone, nor should you. In fact, you'll be kind of lifted up by the support, the insight, and the understanding of other people around you. And then we have a cyclical energy, which you would normally see on the Wheel of Fortune. So things ebb and flow. This is for those of you that are perfectionists or very goal-oriented and something didn't work, something didn't land, and it's still very valuable, but your ego might be bruised. Give it a try again. Second or third time's a charm. And it's giving you a thicker skin so that in the long run, you won't sweat the small stuff. So maybe this is going back to school. Maybe this is picking up a project. Maybe this is believing in yourself enough to go for something that really feels like you're going to learn something here. So it's not just that you have a stake in it. It's sort of like feeding your mind. So you owe it to yourself. There's no such thing as a mistake if you grow. It's just a lesson that took longer. Okay, and that's one of the things that Spirit wanted me to help you with karmically is the lesson. So for some of you, what we're seeing here is you can pick up the pieces, things are salvageable. The main thing here is your emotions are heavy, but once the emotions get in a good place, things come into clarity. And then on Saturday, you're ready to say no and then ostensibly to say yes. You have to kind of pick and choose. When justice is reversed, she's very clearly telling us, don't do it, or you know it's okay to say no. Also, it's a chance to find balance in your life. So if you're putting all of your energy into fun stuff, not enough into work, flip it around. If you're working too much and you haven't seen your friends and family forever, create some balance. This is also just anything that kind of like makes you feel like your feet are on solid ground. Because she's not here. She's in a balancing act here. You can't do everything. You can't be everywhere. You can't please everyone. You have to make choices. Choices are hard. Choices are necessary. Choices liberate you. So choose what fits, let go of what doesn't, let someone else take that. That's something as I get older that is freeing. And I think of a line also from the movie Practical Magic with the ants, where they're like, they don't have to clean up the messes that their nieces did? But anyway, they were like, basically, clean up your own messes. They came back in the end and helped, but sometimes you just need to walk away. And if there's a person or an activity that you're engaged in and they don't want to help themselves, you got to let go of that. You got to focus on what you can control. And when that other person is ready, they can come back in, okay? But for some of you, you're separating or severing a tie for the reasons I just mentioned. It's too much, and it's not worth your investment of time and energy right now. Okay, looking at Sunday, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. You are so close to the finish line, but that very last step is exhausting. So this is a card of survival, perseverance, and as we can see here, sometimes picking up the pieces, when it's reversed, the person they're still capable, but they're zapped out. That's what I'm getting here. And for some of you, I'll find the traditional card while we're talking, but it could be like you just have a migraine, you can't concentrate, or you're just sick and tired. You're like, Nicholas, I don't want to do this. Okay, take a day. See that person with the bandage in the corner? They're just feeling like worse for the wear. They've come so far. So what you really want to do next Sunday is look at how far you've come. Like this person, focus on the one thing that you can really control. They're only focusing on the one. Even in this one, he's holding the one wand. So you don't have to do it all. Maybe that's a big takeaway this week, is there's power in delegation, there's power in choice, and when you focus on what you can most control or most affect, you can take a breath, you can breathe again. Highlights and lowlights for this week. I would say we'll start with the challenges. The biggest challenge is Wednesday. Something feels bigger than it is, but it isn't. Because the ultimate spread of this card, all the cards are pretty good overall. So this is just more of a mental tower than anything. And when you recalibrate, you're able to make some progress. The biggest other challenge for you is this sort of emotional feeling. For some of you, it's perfectionism. For some of you, there's just a lot that you're dealing with. You may take it personally that things aren't going at the speed with which you want, but give it a day. The big lesson here is one day makes such a difference. So you feel like you took a step backward, but then all of a sudden things pick up. The world is ending, but actually it isn't. And in fact, there's a lot of people to help. Context and basically just slowing down a little bit. All right? All right. Let's take a look at the next portion of this, which is going to be elemental, fire, earth, air, and water. It's the only portion for today that is going to be specific to signs. Okay, let me see. Which deck is calling to us? This one. Okay. So, actually not this one. We're going to do a different one. I changed my mind. All right. Fire, earth, air. All right. They were all reversed, but we're going to read them as upright. I'm going to tell you how to access them so they're not reversed. All right. Fire, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Slow down. The Seven of Pentacles reminds you that recovery, whether it's financial, emotional, or physical, can't be rushed. And this is the whole sort of like one step forward, one step back sort of thing, or two steps forward, one step back. It's better to do it right the first time. Interestingly enough, this is almost never shown on the Seven of Pentacles. We can see someone that is ready to birth, create, or release something with the pregnant belly. And so also with that, you got to take care of yourself first before you're able to take care of something or someone else. And that's why the Seven of Pentacles is reminding you to really build a nice firm foundation. This also often comes after a Tower moment. So in financial reads, this would be after debt or bankruptcy, you rebuild and things recover. In health, it can be after a broken bone or sickness. Same thing, your body rebuilds. So for all of my fire signs, this is about the reconstruction, the reinvention, and recalibration. You're treading in the right direction, but what's the rush? And sometimes I know, like if it's financial, it's like, well, Nicholas, I'm not rushed, but I need more. So pace yourself, cut some things if you can from the budget, take care of yourself. There's only so far that the rubber band will stretch. Ultimately, this is a card of growth, and in many decks, you'll see, like the one that we were just using, when the person walks away, there's all these lush flowers that grow. So sometimes when you just stop fixating on what isn't, you allow what can be to actually breathe itself into existence, okay? So the reversal of this is just saying slow down and reminding you that growth is underway. It's just not as quickly as you'd like it to be. Okay, that's for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, moving from fire to earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So this is a cool and like slightly different reinterpretation of the Nine of Wands, which we just talked about. This is the person that is basically a survivor. And in this one, we can see the rebounding energy. What happens this week is there might be a slight like bump in the road that takes you off course. And then you kind of think, am I going all the way back? No, you're not. There's a lot of recovery energy this week. So you're on that sort of rebound. There may be something because of the reversal that makes you feel like, uh-oh, here we go. But it's not. It's just a hiccup. It's a hiccup. And so take it as just the hiccup that it is. When it comes to other people in your life, you're starting to stand up for yourself. You start to learn the lesson in the Seven of Wands. You've mastered it by the time you get to the Nine of Wands, especially the next card. But he's grumpy in the best way. No, I don't want to do this. I've worked hard to get to where I'm at, and I'm going to stand my ground. And that's what she's doing. She's standing up for herself. So you may have to say no. This we can graft on with the Justice card or connect to it. This is about saying no, and this is standing your ground and saying, sometimes you have to repeat it. No, that's not what I want. Yes, I'm sure it's not what I want. So you might have to repeat it a few times for it to click with people. You might have to restate it a couple of ways or say, how am I not making myself clear? Okay, ultimately though, this is a card of survival, and you can face any challenge that comes your way as long as you take care of yourself, all right? Moving on, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So again, it came through reverse, but this is a very positive card. It's the penultimate, second to last. So judgment is a decision that you have made or someone else has made, but when reversed, the acceptance is lacking. So let me break it down. You've made a decision that you might want to start or stop something, but you're not saying it, you're not doing it. You're maybe even denying the fact that you want it. And so one of the biggest things to do this week is to get real with yourself and say, what's so wrong about wanting this? Where's the resistance coming from? Because when the resistance goes away, everything lifts up. And there's this liberation like there's never been before. Sometimes this comes before a breakup, or before quitting a job, or before deciding to move. There's all this internal hesitation. I don't know, but it's comfortable. And what are people going to think? And all of that stuff weighs you down. Meanwhile, the angel's saying, what are you waiting for, dude? It's time. So don't overthink it. There's an inner knowing that's happened. Now, if you're good and that's not aligning, it could be someone around you. And this is the most common instance of justice reverse, which is, I don't agree with what they're doing. We think that of our children, of our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers, our parents, our neighbors, whatever. It's their life, and they have their own path. And who are we to judge? It's only them, their soul, and the higher power, whatever that might be, that's judging. We can take a step back. There's a lot of judgment in this world right now. It's not worth it. So if someone's in your business, it's typically because you're presenting something that threatens them or aligns with them and they haven't looked within. And the people that are the most judgmental typically are judging themselves, but they're projecting it out to someone else. So if someone's really in your business, it's because they have work to do on themselves. And if you're really fixated on someone, ask yourself, why am I putting all my energy into that? Honestly, why? It's like you're trying to remote control their life, let it be. And that's that. The cool thing with this is it's reinvention and renewal. So in this one would be connected to the tower. So after the tower comes the star, but it also comes this ability to completely let go of what was. It's done. So you don't have to go back. There's no going back. It's so much wiser and so much more effective to just embrace the new and the now. Okay, so that's pretty good. But it's a big week, and there's some big changes of mind that are happening. Justice and judgment also go hand in hand. This is the final delivery of the decision. And it might be for some of you, no, I don't want this. But the decisions happen, but the execution hasn't. It is what it is. Okay, moving on. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. It's actually a great week for you. We have not the Hierophant, but the High Priestess in reverse. Very similar to what we were just talking about. You already know the next step, but you're doubting yourself. So this is less about making a decision. This is more about knowing. So oftentimes we see things, especially when you're intuitive. You can see a motive, you can feel emotions, you can see an outcome, and it's inconvenient sometimes because it might hold you back from doing something that you initially thought you wanted. But when you see what it could result in, it's like, well, I guess I have to look for something else. You might be friends with someone, you think they're your bestie, but then intuitively you can pick up on stuff, or maybe you're even just seeing through the facade and seeing how their actions speak louder than their words. And it's like, ugh. The High Priestess can be inconvenient, but she's always a blessing. So she's showing you things you don't want to see. But you see them. So when you see them and you work with them, even better. Now, for the budding intuitives out there that are doubting themselves, she's coming through saying, no, trust your instinct. The first initial thought that comes through you is typically the most powerful. So trust in your instincts, start to listen to them and move with them, and great things await. Many of you may be wanting to pursue more of a creative or a spiritual path. She's also encouraging that. And ultimately, it's only when you don't listen to your common sense, your instincts, or good advice that things become messy. So she can help you avoid this. But it's inconvenient. Whatever she's showing you, it's like, ugh, seriously? Yes, seriously. So that's the tough love from the universe. But it's all pretty good this week. Again, when I'm looking at all of these cards, they're fairly positive. So I feel like it's a good week ahead. Just slow down, trust yourself, stand up for what you believe in, and don't be afraid to reinvent. Okay? All right. Let's move on to the special topic for today. It's been a minute since we've tapped into dragon energy, so I'm kind of excited to see what this brings up. Let me select a deck of cards for this. By the way, while I'm doing this, if you haven't already, please remember to like and subscribe. All right. Again, connecting with guides one more time. Let's call in Angel, Spirit Guides, Ascended Masters. And the intention here is to find your power. And part of this will actually connect with my channel messages, which is what's holding you back. Okay, we have a card volunteering. Queen of Wands, absolutely appropriate for dragon energy. We've got Pele and a volcano here. Perfect. I think there's even a couple dragons in this deck, which is why I selected it. So let's see. Synchronistic that the tower's showing up. We got changes afoot, folks. tons and tons of Wands energy too. We're only missing the King. So you called upon fire and we got it. Okay, let's begin with your Catalyst card. Exploration here. We have Explore coming through. This is like Six of Swords energy. The Catalyst helps us make a necessary change. Like literally, I'm seeing the Six of Swords ship there. It's also Three of Wands energy connected to travel. And those are the two big ones that came through here because they have ships in them. So if we kind of take the two together, it's about going the distance and allowing yourself to move toward your vision. So one thing that I've really been trying to focus on this year, because there's so much distraction, folks, we have to look beyond the cloud, the mist of distraction. And it's like, what's my goal and how can I move closer to it? What in my life is creating unnecessary distraction? And now what am I going to do today, tomorrow, and the next day to row that boat? Because while I'm talking, I'll find the Six of Swords. I was in one of the last videos that I was doing commenting on the fact that it's not a speed or motorboat. It's actually someone rowing it, which takes effort, which isn't super fast. And it kind of reminds us that you reap what you sow. So this is really a moment of making sure that you're taking the time, you're putting in the effort. And that kind of goes back to the patience message that we were talking about, where I get the impatience, but it doesn't serve your highest good. So it's really important to, here we go. I got a few cards here that I want to show us. All right. So the Six of Swords, he's actually rowing the boat. It's not a big cruise ship. It's not a fancy yacht. It's a rowboat. So the way that you move forward is step by step, row by row, breath by breath. It does not have to be quick. Progress is an illusion sometimes, and what happens is you just look one day and you're like, oh my gosh, it's done. The project's done. I graduated. Or a birth date hits and you're like, oh wow, how'd that happen? So progress is sneaky that way, but this can be inspirational. If you're feeling frustrated, a change of scenery and a change of perspective helps you. Are you focusing on this or are you focusing on this? They're two views of the same card, basically. Also, we're just looking at perspective. It's all about perspective. I mentioned all the ones with ships. They're so tiny, you can hardly see it in the Three of Wands. So where are you in your journey? Okay, because it's going to be like this. This is the triptych. Are you rowing the boat? Actually, no. Are you up on the shore waiting for the ships, passive, thinking, I know what I'm going to do? Have you met the ship and are you rowing the boat? Or are you already looking at the path ahead? Do you see the story that the cards are telling? I've read cards enough that I can kind of pull them all together like this. So it's all about the perspective, and there's no wrong way to do this. But just know that it's just progress. Progress takes on many different images and many different vistas. So change your perspective. If you don't like where you're at, look a little further out. If you don't like how long it's taking, meet it halfway. Where are you at in your journey? You can change it up today if you kind of give it a shot, okay? You may want to travel. Travel helps you experience new things. It helps the mind open up, gives you new perspective. All right, let's look at your center card. We have Queen of Wands. We have Pele in particular, goddess of what? Creation and destruction. And right to the left of her in the spread is destruction. So she's coming through saying in order for you to get to the next level, you need to let something go. Twice we've seen the Tower come through. So now it's synchronistic. She embraces it. That's her whole thing. She's the volcano deity. So think of the Hawaiian island chain, which has been created with fire and water, two opposing forces that come together to create something solid. There could be something in your life that was like that. It was opposing, it made you stop, it pushed you in a new direction, but you're going to be on firmer ground when you step into the next big thing. What is your passion in this moment, especially if you had to just step through a volcano or tower moment? Now you get to totally reset. You don't have to do the same. It would be better if you changed it up. So that's one thing like that I reminded myself like 10 and a half years ago, I decided not to just quit my job, but to change my career. It's different. And I'm thinking of a similar, not about my job, but about like a move. Like, well, instead of moving a state, what if I thought bigger? So sometimes when you make big moves, bigger moves can be better, but it's about calibrating the timing, the location. But once you know what you want to do, things can happen and it can be better. So I'd like you to slow down and instead of repeating, so let's say you are on a rebound in a relationship, instead of getting back into this, instead of dating, just be with yourself for a second and really think, what am I looking for? Why is this happening? And we'll look at the cards here. But in jobs, in relationships, in living situations, in general, it feels like there have been little hops that have been repetitious, that have been teaching you little tiny pieces of the same lesson. So the next hop, let's make it a leap. And let's really go beyond repeating those lessons and just go for something. Go big. Think boldly. And really create something fresh and new, like the lava would in the Queen of Wands. Okay? Some of you are looking for like a new chosen family, a new tribe. We have the 10 of Cups on top of this. Maybe you found it too. So here's an interesting thing. Like some of my best friends are friends of friends of friends. And we've recounted how odd it is. Sometimes, like I've lost touch with the original, like the first and then the second group that helped me meet the sort of core group that I'm with right now. Because that's just how life is sometimes. But you may be finding a new chosen family. You may be looking at your extended family and trying to figure out who you want to spend the time and energy with. You might have just met someone that comes from a really big family, and all of a sudden you find that you went from maybe a very core group to like something gigantic. Whatever it is, this is reminding you that family comes in many forms. It comes and goes. It's more than just blood. And there's a chance now, if you're ready and if you're willing, to meet this extended family. Soul family, not blood. Blood is one type of family, but it isn't the only type. Friends, co-workers, people in the community that share a common interest, fellow human beings going through the same struggles, they can all constitute family. My little fur baby who's in the other room, family takes many shapes and forms. So allow yourself to go beyond the blood relatives and look to a deeper connection. If you're looking for love this month, yes, it can come through. We have Queen of Wands energy right at the center. The main thing you should feel is passion, but lo and behold, and we'll get to this one in a second, you could fall head over heels because that's the Tower. Literally the person is falling down and we see their head, over their heels. So the reversal of this is trying to stay on your feet and land on your feet. Okay, let's look at the deep past. This is where the karma is for many of you. This can mean a couple of things. First of all, familial wounds. The Empress oftentimes is mother, but she can also be father because we read cards more holistically here. So there is a parental or familial wound that might need some healing. There could also just be a very controlling person in your life that helicopters in, may even gaslight you a little bit and make you wonder, can you do this? Yes, you can do this. But what's really important in this moment is you have to believe it first. You have to believe in yourself. And perhaps because we had all of the Judgment and Justice card, the Nine of Wands, you might have to push back and remind people to kind of like mind their P's and Q's, give you some space to breathe. As an aspect of your own personality, it's also making sure that you're allowing the same in others. So we talked about judgment. I don't agree with you, but you don't have to say it. Like, unless someone's asking for your feedback, so be it. And if they do want your support, ask them what level of support. Do you want emotional support? Do you want tactical information? Do you want me to give you constructive criticism? That's the only time you can kind of speak up. And even then, remember, you should be giving it in the way that you would like to receive it. So release the hold on others and take the reins, as we were looking at here, or in the Six of Swords, so that you can go in a new direction. Use the energy in your own life, on your own personal development. So there you go. It's already happening. Whatever you're trying to create, it's already underway. You can't put together something that's already cracking and falling apart. So there might be something that just is on its way out in your life, person, place, or thing, or an energy. And now you get to take what you can, because the King of Pentacles did that in the 7-day spread, and let go of the rest. Don't get overly, well, let's put it this way. Don't let emotions make your decisions. Use emotions as one of the criteria, but don't make a decision solely on an emotional whim. And that is one thing that can happen with the Tower. You have to wait until your feet land on the ground. And with this, especially, try to see the bigger picture. It's been a minute, but like when I first started working, I used to work in, I've had a few different industries that I've been in, but like for a while I was in technology and digital stuff back in the beginning when there was a .com bubble burst. So I worked at maybe 4 or 5 companies rather that went out of business. And this was like right after school. So my first norm was there's no stability. And then we had a recession. And then there was like another recession in 2008. And now we're maybe on the verge of another one. So ebb and flow. What I learned from that is you never know what the future holds. You always want a security blanket of some sort, a contingency fund, and you will recover from whatever challenging situation that you're in. The Queen of Wands can solve any problem, to quote what I said earlier in the daily card read. It's just a matter of how you look at it, and I showed you the 3 perspectives. One was like zoomed in, one was like in the moment, and one was zoomed out. So you have to kind of do the telephoto lens and look at it from all perspectives and say, what have I learned? What can I do to avoid the tower from getting bigger? And is there anything that I can pick up and take with me to the next level? Okay? So there's a necessary change underway. Many of you already know what you want to do next. It's just a matter of putting energy into it. Ace of Wands in reverse is overthinking. I want it, but what if this happens? What if that happens? We don't benefit from all of that sort of overthinking energy. I think it happens to everybody from time to time, but don't make it algebra if it's just simple math. Just figure out what the next step is going to be. And also, this is a chance for partnership, because the aces are sometimes like handing it off. So you can take it to a certain point and then have someone else help you with the next step. Vitality could be lacking for some of you, and it could come from boredom, from being overworked, from burnout. And so if any of that rings true, slow down, catch your breath, let the dust settle, okay? Knight of Wands, slow down the thought process, which we just talked about, and think, what else? What else do I want? What else haven't I kind of checked off my bucket list? So the bucket list shouldn't wait until retirement. We should be looking at that bucket list every day and thinking, is there something else that I can experience or do? I was talking to sort of a new acquaintance the other day about big life changes. And one thing that I guess I always had was this bold sense of no regrets. So I've tried bold things in my life because it was naivete in youth, but with age, it's like, why not? Why not? Who cares what others think? I've only got this lifetime once. So I might as well try things. I'll make mistakes, but I'll also hit a few home runs. And so it's worth it. It's worth it. I don't follow sports that much, but we're looking at like the average, not like if you don't make it once, it's like over time, if more often than not you're succeeding, it really doesn't matter. So look at your average of success. Don't fixate so much on one loss or one strike. You've got a few attempts. Keep trying, okay? So think about what else you want and then give it a shot. Here we go. Magician, you. This is good. Wishes are good. We need a chance as adults to think, what if ... So I want you to kind of go back to your dream book, your wishes, your bucket list, and take the wish and then say, I'm doing this. So instead of what if, when, make it a when. Change the question, change the perspective. When, how? How am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? Who's going to help me? Those are the only questions that matter in this equation. Focus. The magician has a lot of tools in her disposal, but sometimes she gets confused. She gets distracted. She doesn't have to use all of the elements at the magician's table. This is a fairy godmother here, and it's the sort of Cinderella story. So dreams can come true, but unlike the Cinderella story, they don't have to go away. And so there could be a little shadow of fear, like you're getting in your own head. Some of you might have already actually achieved a level of success, but you're waiting for midnight, right? You're waiting for the stroke of midnight for the horses to turn back into, it was the horses that were these little mice, right? So don't believe that. If you've achieved a level of success and you continue to work hard, good, that's it. End of story. You can plan for challenges, but let's not wait for another shoe to drop. Let's change that out of our thought process a little bit. That's going to help you reignite with your power. Because successful and powerful people rarely give a lot of energy to fear, doubt, or uncertainty. They usually step into the room and command a sense of gravitas and like, I'm going to listen to you because clearly you know what you're talking about. They are projecting it. So when you project the sense of confidence and it will be fine, ironically, you're going to usually call in situations that are fine. So project the confidence, believe in yourself. That's going to attract people, places, and opportunities that believe in you rather than test you, because the tower's in the past, okay? Page of Wands. So we have the idea. We're stopping the overthinking. Now we're figuring out, how do I show it? How do I tell it? And it's a little bit of both. Pages do communicate, but pages of Wands show more than tell. And so for some of you, especially if there is a naysayer in your family, you can point to an example. You know this person? They did it. You know this person? They're exactly like me. And it's like, oh, okay. This can help you too. If you have to get someone to buy off on an idea, like you're trying to sell a product or service, demonstrate it, show a prototype to get the investment. We've taken it 25% of the way. Look at how it's working. If you want to see it to completion, come on board. So showing helps. Examples are helpful. Also, getting inspired by looking at other people that know what they're doing can be very good for you. This is about listening to a great speaker, watching a great documentary, learning from a great instructor, because they're getting those neurons to fire. The fire in the mind, it's kind of lighting up like a Christmas tree. So that's what I'm really seeing, is all of those little sparks and little sort of like connections in the brain. Do something that lights up the neurons and the synapses and all of the other things in our organic computer that is the brain. And that'll take it to the next level. And then we have something better waiting for you here. So we have Queen of Pentacles energy coming forth, and the Queen of Pentacles has the ability to basically bring in something good. I'm going to pull the traditional queen here. But as I like to kind of point out, it's almost like there's a ridiculous amount of abundance on the Queen of Pentacles card. Like the king is even worse. He has vines everywhere, but it's so much green. We have a little bunny rabbit, and she really is taking care of what it is that she wants to focus on. I encourage you to do the same as well. In this moment in time, your TLC will pay off. This is your possibility. Whatever you're currently experiencing, whether it's a lack, whether it's slower than you think, the possibility is abundance. It just requires nurturing and care, okay? And now the challenge this week, this month, perhaps even, is Three of Swords. So I don't mind the Three of Swords because it represents a moment where you know what you don't want. You can walk away from something that doesn't feel right. And in doing so, you allow for your energy to be put into something that does matter. So the thing that could actually be zapping out your fire, so to speak, it could be this sense of failure or disappointment. I don't know why neglect is coming through, but like if you feel like you've neglected to do something, someone's neglected to be there, but the word that actually came to my mouth was neglect, so we'll go with it. Now is the time to say, I acknowledge it, but I don't need to sit here forever. What am I going to do about it? How can I heal myself? Right after this is a break. It's the Four of Swords. So some of you may simply need a little bit of time and space to recalibrate. We're going to briefly touch on the expanded forecast. I'm probably not going to go as deep as normal on this because I'd like to pull a few bonus cards, but we will touch the high points of this. So let's see what comes through. We're going to start off actually first with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. Okay. Earth-star connection. It's reversed. It makes a lot of sense since we had the tower energy here. And it says anchoring, grounding, Isis energy. Isis, of course, connected to renewal and rebirth. And anchoring and grounding is so important. So for some of you, you may just feel like you've been on a roller coaster, right? And the most important thing after that roller coaster is to sit on a bench, put your head between your knees, and let your head sort of stop spinning. Plant your feet on the ground, get a sense of where you're at. Grounding activities in life could be spending time with someone who you really just love and who supports you. It could be an activity that makes you feel like I'm making a difference. It could just be a safe environment. Whatever helps you feel solid, grounded, safe. That's where you want to put your time. Sort of quickly looking at general health messages. The Explore card could come through because some of you have been stuck in a place for too long, and it's time to take a holiday, a break, or get some perspective. The Tower can be a toxic relationship or living experience, and this is about exploring what else is out there. Because so much fire came through and we have Three of Swords here, there could be either actual inflammation in the body, like your there's some swelling or some pain, in which case you want to work with your doctor, or there could just be irritation. This is all helping you to move on. The Tower won't let you sit still. You have to move on. This typically won't let you sit still. So if we take these out, the rest of the cards are positive, and it's saying the only way out is through. You have to move forward a step. And when you do, things start to get freeing. Things start to heal, like we saw the Seven of Pentacles come through for some of you. There may be a new relationship that changes everything. You could fall and fall fast. It's called falling for a reason, falling in love. Make sure that you ground yourself and that you are in love rather than falling in love. You want to be able to have your head on your shoulders in that situation. Take it slowly. If you don't feel it, don't do it, and this is going to help you be happier. Even though we're looking at health, that is also coming forth. And I think that's pretty much it here. I think it's just about moving up, moving on, moving out, making the necessary changes and getting away from anything in your life that creates that instability that we see here. Let's move on to wealth. I talked about this when we were looking at the Three of Pentacles earlier, but the miracle of forgiveness here. Archangel Jeremiel? Hard to say sometimes. Thank you for helping me understand the process of forgiveness. Forgiveness within is the hardest part, isn't it? I like that he's holding a torch because the torch is reversed here. So let's say you made a mistake and things didn't work out the way you planned. it's going to be okay in the long run as long as you recalibrate. Leaning on the support of others could be very advantageous in this moment in time. It's okay to be disappointed. In many ways, rejection and disappointment helps us recalibrate to the opportunities at hand, okay? So what we're gonna do for this, I don't wanna get too mired down. It's hard sometimes to not go too deep into all of the levels, but we're gonna just read a single card and a single statement for the subcategories within wealth, so that we might have time for an extra card. So we'll look at the 5 different categories here, which I have to think about for a second. So we're going to start off first with those that are employed, those that own their own company. Then we're going to look at students. Actually, we'll leave that there. Job seekers, then students, and then retirees. Okay, so briefly, I'm going to talk about each, but we're not going to get too mired down in this. We'll start off with those that are employed. So the main message here with those that are employed with the Knight of Swords in reverse is to speak up and speak your truth. So there may be changes going on like we saw with the Tower that are hard to take. There may be things that you want to affect. Whatever is going on, it's important to speak up. And most importantly here, to speak up often rather than create this laundry list and then put it all out there at once. It's too much. You may be in a place where your voice isn't heard. If that's the case, it's important to find a place where you are heard. Slow down. What's the rush? The Knight of Swords is in too much of a hurry, and this is about taking care of yourself in this moment in time, okay? Main takeaways there. Moving onward to entrepreneurs, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Listen before speaking. In fact, you may learn more through the act of asking people questions and just holding space for the responses. Researching, listening, analyzing. This is going to help you when you're figuring out the next step for your company. So changes are afoot, as we've talked about. You may need to explore new opportunities. You may need to bring in some new people, but take a moment to find out like what is making people unhappy, what new ideas they might have, because you have a wealth of opportunity and knowledge there, but only if you slow down. So the big opportunity with entrepreneurs is research, asking customers, asking coworkers, asking your employees what they think. They can help inform the next step. Job seekers. Okay. So what are you going to get out of it? Not just about money, but what is the next experience feeding you? This is going to help you from going into something that is just for cash. And often when we are in the energy of job seeking, it's just about the bottom line, but we have to look beyond it, because one day, 1 week, 1 month past the time when you've started the job, you're there. So we don't want you to be stuck there. We want you to be there and growing. So what's the growth opportunity in the next job? There are times when we can't think that way. I get it. But if you have a couple choices in front of you, which one will be the better growing experience? Which one is going to yield a better morale and like familial experience, because it's the people that make this work. And this is true of every level of employment right now. People are most important. So culture and environment matter the most. What are you getting out of it in the long run beyond all the zeros in your checking account, okay? Students. Hanged Man, you're exactly where you need to be. In fact, by slowing down, it's Hanged Man in the reverse, but by slowing down, you can avoid stepping into the Tower energy that we saw. And by slowing down, you might also be saved from some sort of disappointment. Finish this, we're so close right now when we're looking at May. Most of you are near graduation, so finish the semester and then think, what do I want to do? Finish the degree, whatever's close at hand, finish that, get tactical, and then take the move. Sit with it. That's something that I've been doing. I wanted to make a move back in January when we had fires here, but I probably won't be doing it until September. We'll see, August maybe. But I had to wait much longer because I want to make sure that I'm doing it right, and there's a lot of things that are in motion. So like me, it might be longer than you want, but hopefully it'll be better. So very, very much get tactical in this moment, and when things come together, they'll come together. There also may just be this feeling of, I can't get where I want to here. Okay, good. Good to know that. Again, I think there's an advantage by just finishing out the next 2 to 3 months and then deciding, transfer, change, shift, whatever it is, whatever move you want to make, do it then. But wait first. Explore the opportunities. There's a common theme here. It's just to slow down. You're either looking, listening, or going within. And for students, it's going within. No one can tell you but you. Retirees. This is fun. This is great. 3 of Cups, 10 of Cups. There might be some changes in your social environment. Like maybe for some of you too, you could be mourning the loss of somebody, but you're dipping your foot back out there. It could be divorce because we had justice in reverse. It could be loss or death or separation or moving on. Whatever it is, what we see here is this newfound energy of community. And by the way, just retirement in itself reads like death or separation because you are. It's kind of interesting. We even call like when you're cut from a job like severance. So you are severing ties, but knowingly and wantingly usually when you retire. So you have to build new connections. So this is a chance to really lean into friend, love, even coworker or, like-minded individuals, volunteer work, but it's about mixing and mingling. And in that, you could make a new friend or find some love if you're looking for it. Speaking of that, let's look at love and see what's coming through. All right, for love, we actually have this wonderful card of abundance, which I think connects nicely to this. So it says, abundance is a state of mind. It is in a great degree. When you think to yourself, I'm worthy and I'm ready, you open up relationships, you open up business opportunities. When you think I'm worthy, you tend to attract people, places, and things that mirror that sense of self-worth. So the first and the most important thing besides self-love and acceptance is self-worth. Really focus on seeing yourself as the multifaceted, I guess these are rubies in this illustration, but we are all multifaceted. I remember a very dramatic drama teacher saying, acting is like a diamond. You're showing someone like a different facet of your personality. She was a trip, but she was right on that. Life is that way. The soul is so multifaceted, and in this lifetime, we're just showing a shard of that existence. So you get to explore other shards when you connect with people. And there's a lot of magic this month when other people can show you what they see, because sometimes that can be very invigorating, particularly when it's a teacher, mentor, or lover that believes in us. If you didn't have that sense of being believed in, which some of you might be lacking because of the abundance message, it gets magical when someone in your life does see it and does believe in you. Three different categories here. We're going to look at those that are currently in a relationship, single and looking, single and happy. Okay, starting off with those that are partnered. So we have the 7 of Wands card. It is in reverse. This is going back to the deep past. So this is trying to control, but it can also just be holding space. We want to hold space. We don't want to push someone to do the work before they're ready. And the 7 of Wands is pushy. This isn't actually a great illustration of it. The hard work part is because it comes on the heels of success. So 6 of Wands is basically success, and then you just have a lot that you have to balance. But I'm going to pull the traditional card while we're talking. What you want to avoid is getting defensive and fighting unnecessarily. So one of the best, I'm not a therapist, but this is a therapy way of approaching this. You could just ask, well, what did you mean by that? Before you go off the deep end, because you may be misinterpreting that. Or just say, help me understand what that means, because that's even less therapy-like and it may not put them on the defensive, or I don't understand. This is jumping to a conclusion and getting defensive. So your partner, ostensibly, knock on wood, has your back. So if they have your back, assume that they do, and see what they mean, and then hopefully the two of you can work together. Try not to fight your partner. There may be some arguments underway. Take a step back, breathe, and ask yourself if it's worth it. Changes are happening. Sit with the change for a second. It may be difficult for your partner to discuss the change or you to discuss changes with your partner. It's important, though, to talk about changes and hopes and fears and things that are kind of bubbling up, because there is a lot bubbling up this month. What I love, though, is the sense of love and family. and that really one person does want to kiss it and make it better, but it kind of encroaches in that territory of being parental, and that isn't sexy. That isn't what we want. So we want to pull back a little bit. Just be there, see how you can help them, see when they're ready. Same thing if your partner is a little bit pushy, push back and say, I love that you're here. I'll ask when I need help. Here's how I really can use the help. Like, let them know how they can show up. Okay. All right, let's move on to single and looking. 8 of Wands. You're busy. There's a lot of options. Do you have time? If you do, great. And honestly, it feels like if you're single and looking, it's going to happen while you're out and about. So maybe volunteering, maybe at school, maybe at work, shopping. When you're not swiping in the apps, when you're not being set up, when you're not looking for someone, just be single and busy is what I'm getting here. And get involved. Get involved in activities that really sort of like spark common passion. That's where you're going to meet someone. Kind of looking at what's coming forth here if you're single and looking, like almost too many options. We have a lot of fire energy, so a ton, possibly all the fire signs. And then we have pentacles. And yeah, that's enough. At least four different types of people coming forth. Here's what you should do. First of all, slow down long enough to catch your breath. Make sure that you feel the mutual spark. You shouldn't need a tarot card. You shouldn't have to tune into a reading. It shouldn't be anything else than, ooh, I need to get to know that person, or we have a spark. If you feel the mutual spark, perfect. If not, you've got enough going on right now that wait until you do. Because the Magician is one of the best dating cards because you'll just know. You will not need anybody to tell you. That's how you'll know. You'll feel the spark. It is connected to a Page of Wands. So it could be a fire sign. And it may be someone who's a little bit younger or a little bit shyer, because we don't have to always read the hierarchy of the court cards as age. It can be experience. So there may be someone that's waiting for you to make the first move and could get lost in the shuffle because they're just... So stop. Remember the 3 cards that we looked at, the different vistas? I want you to look around a little bit. Look here, look there, look there. Someone in the distance might be trying to grab your attention, okay? And if you are now single and happy, ironically, you're the ones that are pulling in love the most. Isn't that how it always is? So we have 4 of Wands. Now, this can be platonic love. This can be business partnership. This can be best friend energy. The reversal of this could be an unexpected or fast friend that comes into your life. And there could be this feeling of, I wasn't looking for it. Exactly. When you're not looking for it, that's when it hits. And sometimes it hits hard. So you could fall in love. You could meet a bestie. You could meet the person that changes your life, because that's what the Tower and the 4 of Wands are. It's a good connection in that regards. But it is someone who says, hey, if you're in business, we need you to start tomorrow. Can you get on a plane? It's that kind of energy. That's 4 of Wands plus Tower. That actually was my first job. It was something like, can you start this Friday? And it was Wednesday and I was in a different city. I said, yes. Good. We'll see you then. So be willing to sometimes take the leap. It could be worth it if it's 4 of Wands. If you feel the connection, if it's a really great opportunity, sometimes it's worth dropping everything and giving it a shot. No regrets. Destiny. Poseidon is coming through and it's a powerful card. It was reversed, but it says flow. So this is very much like King of Cups energy. And listening to your heart, going with the intuitive flow, the emotional flow that is naturally leading you in the right direction if you trust it. If you go counterintuitive or counter flow, it gets harder than it should be. And that's the Tower. And that is also the water kind of like drowning out the fiery energy of the dragon that we're looking at. So I think as long as you're listening to your heart, everything is flowing together. It's when you're not that you're going to meet the friction that we're trying to avoid. Okay, I feel like the pacing was good on that. So I want to do a reader's choice on this one. Actually, I'm just going, we'll do a reader's choice and then a need to know as well. Okay, so the reader's choice on this one, if I can find the graphic, it doesn't matter. The reader's choice on this one is going to be, what is your power? What's blocking you? So there's going to be two choices on the reader's choice. What's your power? And what is blocking you? All right, so, oh good, I found it. For what's your power? The world in reverse. It's the ability to see the world from a different perspective. Yeah, that's great, actually. But sometimes you're ahead of the curve. And when you're ahead of the curve, you may meet resistance along the way. Someone will say, but we asked for this, not that. So you'll notice this in like musicians. Sometimes they're so far ahead of themselves that it could take a decade for people to go back in the catalog and say, that was a great album, wasn't it? We weren't ready. We slept on them. Same thing can happen with a movie. It gets panned when it first comes out, becomes a cult classic, or it gets revered later. They're like, oh, we just weren't like ready for that. So prepare yourself for being ahead of the curve and just keep creating, because back to the sort of law of averages, in time, that thing that you created could become a hit. You're just a little bit ahead of yourself. There's also an encouragement to go beyond, like don't cap your thought, don't cap your dream too much. Go boldly go where no one's gone before, kind of like the Star Trek thing. Just really reach if you're going to reach. If it's different, like here's the weird thing. It's almost like it needs to be just different enough. If it's too different, it freaks people out. But if it's just different enough, that's the sweet spot. So just trust yourself and push yourself a little bit more. And I think you're going to land where you need to. What's holding you back? The inner saboteur, 5 of Swords. This can also be someone in your life that's gaslighting you or lacks faith in you or is argumentative or is jealous. We all have them. They're not worth it. They're happy when they can kind of put a fly in the ointment, when they can kind of make you doubt yourself. I'll pull the traditional card because it tells the story pretty accurately. So the inner saboteur piece is we often in our own heads say, you're not good enough to ourselves. I'm not good enough. Don't listen to that. Or what if I'm not? Don't listen to it. Instead, focus on how can I get better? So one thing that I'm doing right now is learning a new language. And whenever you learn a new language, it's a little off-putting, but you just keep building blocks. And then one day you're like, oh yeah, I know how to say that. I recognize this. I've learned languages before, but when you're older, it's harder because you have to work a little bit more to create the connections. So when you learn to read, when you learn to do something new, there's always a little bit of fear or uncertainty, but it's always worth doing it, putting yourself out there. This person could be someone else in your life. It could be the shadow energy within. He's smirking. Have you noticed that? It's annoying to see the person smirk. Let's not give the energy. Let's prove that shadow of doubt wrong by just having some fun, not taking yourself so serious. That's one thing I can say when you're learning something new, whether it's how to paint, how to read, how to write, how to speak a new language. You only are going to get better by practicing and fumbling and working with someone who doesn't judge. That's what parents do. They're like, no, you meant this, honey. Let's do this. Okay, good. Oh, great job. You just need to find that reinforcing environment for yourself. So whatever you're trying to do, find a group that supports it, not that ridicules you for not being perfect, because who is? Who comes out of the womb speaking perfectly? Nobody. So it takes time to walk. It takes time to talk. It takes time to do new things. So if you're turning a new chapter, if you're connecting with your passion doesn't mean that you're perfect. It just means that it's something that you're passionate about. Because you're passionate, you'll find your way to proficiency, whatever it might be that you're doing. Okay? All right. That, my friends, brings us to the meditation for today. I'd like you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath, let go of whatever it is that you're holding on to. Imagine that you are connecting with your dragon. Your dragon can be any of the elements, by the way. It does not have to just be fire. So you could be connecting with a dragon that is aquatic, a water dragon. It could be a fire dragon. It could be air, especially if you're an air sign, flying through the sky. It could be an earth dragon that is connected with the power of everything on this planet. Pick one of those elements, maybe the element of your sign, and imagine that the dragon is allowing you to sit on its back, hold the reins, and it's asking you, where do you want to go? So I'm not going to tell you where you want to go. That's what you want to envision. But I'd like you to take a few deep breaths and imagine that your lung and your heart, your lungs rather and heart, are connecting with the lungs of the dragon, the heart of the dragon, and you can breathe life and fire into whatever it is that you want to see traction and action into. Or if you're in the air dragon, you can put this sense of momentum behind it. If you're in the earth dragon, you can ground it into reality. What am I missing? Fire, earth, air, and water. If you're the water dragon, you can start to feel passion and this connection to liberation because it can go in any direction. So take the energy and the element that you're associated with and just imagine that in the week ahead, there is a new sense of momentum, fluidity, passion, or grounding that's coming forth in your element, in your dragon. And connect with it in dreams and in your meditation. And see that it's helping you break down barriers. Okay, take a few deep breaths with the dragon, and then maybe you'll be bragging next week about how well things are going. And then on your next exhalation, open your eyes, and let's look at the final question that you have for me. Okay. What do you still need clarity on? Okay, folks, we got a repetition again here with the Judgment card in reverse. The only thing that's holding you back is doubt, fear, uncertainty, or overthinking. It's already happening. Step into that sort of reality. Step into the situation. I feel for most of you, it's fear or doubt. So the dragons will help you get beyond it because they are strong, they are ferocious, they are fearless. They can help us get through it. They help us find our strength, basically. Tomorrow's better. Tomorrow looks a lot better than today. Today we do the work. Today we push through some of the frustration. Tomorrow we reap the rewards. You have to kind of keep that vision of what's possible. And it's up to you to take the next step. That was fun. I feel even when I'm like, I don't know why they chose this, I'm completely in alignment with it by the end of the reading. I'm like, this was the right choice for today. We needed the dragon. We needed the dragon. Good choice, everyone. All right. So that's why I like the weekly readings, because you all get a chance to form where we go. So if you like this, please subscribe, share. There's a share button here on YouTube and on my social media posts. Let other people know that this was something cool. And we're close, but we've been hovering for like forever. Let's get to that next milestone and we'll do something cool. So definitely subscribe if you're a new viewer. It's free. You just get notifications when new stuff comes along. Follow me on social media so you know when I do extra readings or an impromptu. I do those. I always do like lunar readings. And this week, because I'm caught up, I'll do a members video. I just didn't want to clog everything this week. You can get back with super stickers, super chat, and memberships as well. In fact, for those that stuck around, I believe I still have a few for this month, and we're almost at the end. So let me see if I can still gift any sort of, let's see, membership gifting. Here we go. It made sense to stick around if you did. So here's my little gift back to all of you that gave back a little bit. So thank you. Let's see. And I think that's everything. I just want to say thanks. By the way, I think I'm going to try something new with the next round of monthly so that I can get them done a little faster. I'm going to just do the Celtic Cross, and then I'm going to do Earth, Air, Water, and Fire extendeds and probably put them, I'll change up the order too. I might do it with, like that. I'll do it with elements. So all of the Earth will launch at once with a companion extended. That way I can get them done faster. And just like we do the Earth, Water, Air, and Fire here, you know, but I'll do it with the extended. That way, I feel like I can get stuff done faster. The monthlies will be a little shorter. It came to me this morning, so I might experiment with it this week. Keep an eye out. That or something like that. I want to keep it, but I don't want to do it 12 times. So I was like, this is a way to kind of get around it. So let me know if you like that. I might put a post up with that, but I think it could be fun. I'm trying new things with this to kind of help with the flow and the production so that we can get them out faster. All right. I would like to say thank you to everybody for showing up today. This is the best and my most favorite part of every week. No matter how I feel coming into the reading, I feel better leaving. I hope that's true for all of you. Because it is for me. I'd like to take a couple of moments here to express some gratitude to all of those who gave back a little bit. Okay, so we'll start off with those that celebrated some anniversaries. Marshall, thank you for 15 months. You're amazing too. Thank you. Kathy, 23 months. You're going to be 2 years in the next month. So thank you to you. I'm happy that you like the dragon theme. Like I said, it grew on me as we went through it. It was very fun. Michelle, everybody's short of 2 years almost. Member for 23 months. I think you'll get a crown at the 24-month point. But good morning to you, and I'm glad you enjoyed this too. Renee, 28 months of membership. Thank you. Sending lots of love to you as well. Let's see. Colette, you gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much for helping us expand the community here. Lori, thank you for 21 months of membership. Dawn, welcome. Prima, thank you for sending a gift membership. Let's see. Paula, 32 months. Thank you. Apollo says thanks as well. Welcome to the 5 that I just gifted to, memberships to. And then let's see. Deborah, thank you for 7 months of membership. All right. I'm going to first go to the stickers. And then if I also afterwards can say welcome to all the newest members, I will. But stickers are a little bit easier first. By the way, this helps me do everything here, so thank you guys so much. It's not just a chance to say thanks. Like, I literally couldn't do it without your help and support, so I just want to extend my gratitude for that. Okay, so super stickers, here we go. Jeannie, Sarah, Yolanda, Mel305, Monica, Perna, I think it is, Deborah, Raven, twice, thank you. Kristen, it is Kristen, yes. Ruby, Jeannie, Yolanda, Rafaela, Amitabha. Let's see. I think that's it. I was actually thanking a few people from before, but thanks to all of those folks. And now let me see how much of the memberships I can do, because sometimes it's a little tricky when I try to do this, but let me try by just limiting how much I see per page. Okay, so welcome to or welcome back to the following people. Alma, Melissa, Next Phase, Marissa, Francis, Exactly, Esterin, Unification, Queenie, Maria, Dawn Hurst, Deep Insight, Diane, Madison, The Big I Am, Benjamin, let's see, Lizzie, sorry, Jennifer, Eva or Ava, and Marcella. I think I got everybody there. In fact, a couple people that were on top of all, like from a few days back. So that's everyone. Thank you. Thanks, Anne, for the late gift there. And let's give Apollo a little pat on the head and wrap up for today. Hey, buddy. Good boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are the best. All right, folks. Thank you for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Like I said, we'll do something with membership this week since I'm caught up on the May readings, and I'll be doing some efficiency changes with all of the June ones. I think it'll be all for the best. So stick around, check it out this week. And in the meantime, wishing you all the best. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.